Hey guys, today I'm going to do a really quick video on adding custom textures and icons and buttons into your UIs. A lot of people are having trouble with this. They're having troubles with transparent textures coming in, and also with like a white outline around the edge of some of the textures, which I believe has to do with like semi-transparency on some custom pictures that you use or take off the internet or whatever. So I decided to make this tutorial, show you guys how I do it. First we'll go into the tutorial GUI textures dialog I have set up here. It's got a resource tablet, which is the picture that we're going to use that as the background, and then resource active text, which we're going to use to make a custom button. This allows you to add in the texture, in the text variable, a path to a custom texture, and that's how you make custom buttons. Also, it has this here, the sound click. This could be changed, sound push, enter, and sound escape, all different sounds. This click one is like the one from the standard buttons in the game, but you can add whatever you'd like. Alright, let's jump into Photoshop. Here you see I have a picture of a tablet that I took. Actually, this is a screenshot of the tablet that's in-game, which I highly edited. You can see I have a different layer for this. Is the base, and then the grips and screws and stuff. So I went around and like cut all this out and separated it into a different layer so I could apply this camo texture only to the tablet itself and not to on top of here. And this all has like color overlay, pattern overlay, bevel and emboss. That's like this this white that you see here. It gives it kind of like the appearance of a screen being on. And then just the screen itself, and the power button also here is a separate layer that I edited on there. This thing is going to be, here we have it in a 1-to-1 ratio. On the screen I wanted it to be wider, so even though I leave it like this, it's going to be stretched out on the screen, and I know from experience of using this texture in particular that I can stretch it out and it'll still look good. But you can see like this power button I made kind of squished together, so this way when it stretches out it hopefully should appear round still. So we got this, and then we also have this that I'm going to add in there. This is going to be our button. It's going to, for like, just say like for a player menu. This again is a screenshot of what I took of a picture of the player in game of one of the units, and then I edited it out and cut the edges around it and all that. Alright, let's go back to the tablet. First we'll see, I'm going to merge all these layers first and add a new layer. Now this new layer I'm going to paint white and put it behind here. Now this is for addressing the white lines that appear around the edges of this. I put the white on the background just to make it easier for the selection tool to recognize it and grab everything. So just very quickly we'll select the white background, and then right click on it and select inverse, so now we have the tablet itself. Now we'll go into select, modify, contract. And we'll contract this just by 1 pixel. Sometimes you might have to do it by more, but you don't want it to ruin the image or anything, so we'll stick with 1 pixel for now. Alright, so now that we have that contracted, we're going to delete this layer. We're also just going to copy this. Now we'll do a new image. Now all of your textures, icons, or whatever, they all want to be 1-to-1 ratio in the format of this size. So it would be like 256 by 256, 512 by 512, 1024 by 1024, or 2048 by 2048. So we're going to do that. We have the new picture now. I'll paste this right in the middle. That's pretty good. And now the next steps is what I could see is where most of the transparency issues come in. I'm not sure how you do this in like GIMP really, but In Photoshop, we're going to go here and we're going to go Save for Web. Now this is the same thing you want for GIMP, is going to be this right here. PNG 24 is the format that you want. Just wait till this loads up a bit. Alright, so PNG 24, and we're going to save that. We'll do tablet back, and saved. And saved. No? There you go. Alright, great. And now we'll do the same with the player. This is actually already good to go, but we'll just do it again anyway. I'll save this as player PNG. That's much quicker because it's a much smaller image. Alright, and that's it for Photoshop. Now we're going to go into the texture viewer, which you can get from if you go to Library Tools in Steam, you can find the Arma tools, and you'll be able to get it from there. Alright, so we'll go to this folder and drag this in. Now this is another very important part of this right here. So this is ARGB8888. We're going to change that to DXT5. Just doing something, changing the format, and we'll save as. We're going to go right to the missions. In the mission folder, I have a images folder, and tablet back. We don't want PNG, so keep that tablet back.paa. Wait for that to save. Alright. And now we'll do the same with this player. Select DXT5. Save as. We'll do player.paa. Alright. Now, let's see those. Oh, what happened here? I saved it to the wrong location. Missions, here, images, alright, now that that's done, we got player and tablet back.paa. Now we'll come in here, and we have our resource tablet. We're going to do images tablet back.paa, and we'll do text images, what was this, player.paa. We'll save that, say no to that, and yeah, that should be it. So now let's go in game. The thing with GUIs is you have to, since it's in the description.ext, you have to go back to the editor in order for it to compile all the stuff in the description. So instead of like normally, if you're doing some stuff with just scripts, you could just hit restart, or maybe not even have to hit restart, just save the file. But on this, you have to go all the way back. Alright, so we have create dialog, and there you go. You see it has the bevel in there like that. It's full size. Take a quick look at that. Now this is 0 by 0 for the X and Y, so that's like the starting point is the top left corner. Then we have one width and one height, so that's telling it that the height is going to be the full length of the full height of the screen, and the width will be the full width of the screen. Now, like I said, this we wanted to be in that ratio because we wanted it, or I wanted it to take up the whole screen like this. Now the buttons, what you want on that power button, did work out pretty well. Now it looks pretty round as compared to what it did on the other one. Now this player icon, or most buttons that you would want to be square. Now for the 4:3 resolution, what you do is you want the height to be, or the width rather, to be 75% of the height. Like 3 at like 4 to 4:3 ratio, 3 is 75% of 4. So what we do is we take the height that we want, 0.05, and just times that by 0.75. So we get 75%. So this width is 0.0375, and that gives us a nice square button. And you see also here I have color active. I changed this last number, which is the transparency, to 0.2. This makes it so when you hover over it, it changes, and also, oh, that happened because, well, this happens because the first button that you put on, if you put a button on IDC2 or something like that, it automatically makes it a close. It automatically closes the dialog, so you want to change the number of the IDC if that's happening to you. Or you could just move it further down and have like a picture be that IDC number or something. So when hovering over this or clicking on it, it would leave it this this color to let you know that it's active. And also you see we added the tooltip player on top of that. Alright, well I think that's about it. Hopefully you guys, this helps you guys out and you guys could get some textures into game.